Okay, Rashab asked about number 2, so I'm going to do it. And it is kind of weird what happens to the logs, and you got to know some of your log properties and then what happens to the C and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So if I were to cross multiply, I would get dy over 2y minus 4 equals dx. It's better to picture that as 1 over 2y minus 4 dy equals dx. And then you could even do 1 over 2 times y minus 2 dy equals dx. And now you're going to integrate. And the 1/2 will come out. And then when you have 1 over, it's a log. And you would use chain rule too, but the coefficient of the y is just 1. So that's going to be 1/2 natural log of y minus 2 equals 1x. And remember, we only put the plus c on that side. Now, here's where you might be getting a little bit confused. First of all, one of the properties of logs is that the coefficient can swing to be an exponent. So we're going to do that first. Natural log of y minus 2 to the 1/2 equals x plus c. Now, this is where it starts getting weird. To get rid of the log, we're going to raise both sides to the e. So we're just going to put the e down here, and we're going to raise, we're going to use the equation as now the exponents. E to the log of y minus 2 to the 1/2 equals e to the x plus c. And what happens then is some weird stuff for properties, like the e and the log cancel out, so you end up with just y minus 2 to the 1/2. And then over here, if you have e to the x plus c, that is the same thing as e to the x times e to the c, because the properties for multiplying when you have the same base means you add the exponents. So I'm just using the property backwards. And then e to the c is really just c because it's a constant. So it's e to the x times c, which is c e to the x. So that's what happened in that whole step. A lot of properties of algebra going on there. And then I'm going to square both sides. So I want to get rid of that 1/2. So I'm going to raise both sides to the second power. Okay. Now, whether you leave the c inside the squared or not doesn't matter. So we're just going to end up with y minus 2 equals c e to the x squared. And then you would add 2. You could think of it as c being raised to the second power. So like the c is being raised to the second power and the e to the x is being raised. Well, c squared is just a constant. So you could technically write this as y equals c e to the 2x plus 2. Or you could write it y equals c e to the x squared plus 2. Those are the same answer, and both are okay. So this is okay, and that's okay.